guys, we're back at it again with another episode of Eric Has a Question to Ask the Room.
We gotta think of a better name.
We're working on it.
Yet also fitting.
I mean, I had a conversation with someone about naming the show, and I described the show as a playground of thought.
Question time with Eric Sama.
Please don't call me Eric Sama.
Eric Kuhn.
But
Eric Tan.
They recommended a playground of thought, and I was like, that kind of sounds rapey, but there's no merit to that argument. So with that in mind, I'd like to ask the room a question.
What question do you want to ask us, Eric?
Oh, I should also start. I'm Eric.
I'm DJ.
And I'm Curtis.
Who is best girl really?
Oh, this one. You mentioned something like this.
Yeah, he only ever mentioned it to me. We never had a discussion, though.
All right, well, let me read my Jimmy Fallon monologue that I have pre-prepared. Who is best girl really? No, not like specific headcanon fodder best girl. What actually makes a best girl best? We will now attempt to decipher this.
Okay, so...
Please try to keep your heads out of the gutter for this deep philosophical conversation about big anime titties.
So, no, I think before we get into what is a best girl, let's get into what is not best girl.
Okay, before we do that, I just want to say that big titties does not mean
A best girl make.
No, I know. It's
A best girl could not have big titties, and that's fine.
Yeah, look at Rosario Vampire. Best girl is not the one with the big titties.
Also, my references will be very slim compared to yours, and I'll apologize in advance.
It's okay.
I brought a couple books,
Some reading material.
just like 25, 26 books with me into this room.
Two series.
I think important things to best girl are definitely colored hair. A best girl... that's all I have to say.
Wow, bro.
Like normal colored hair, like blonde, brunette, not characteristics of best girl.
I can't think of too many best girls with blonde hair.
The only one that
But there are some brown hair best girls.
The only one that I can think of that's blonde.
Not many.
No, I think you had.
You said breast girl.
Oh, my bad. I'm getting a little sleepy.
The only one that I can think of, I'm awful with names, by the way, is
That's fine. Just say, what are they from?
So you're
FMA Brotherhood, the one that fixes
Winry.
Oh,
yes,
Winry. Yeah. Well, yeah, Winry's best girl, but she's also only girl. Besides Riza Hawkeye.
No, there's like 4.
But then again, Riza Hawkeye is best girl for Roy Mustang.
Well, again, I think that when we're talking, we should probably.
There's also Greed or whatever, whichever one is.
The
one that's a dude that looks like a girl.
That's actually a girl.
Envy.
Yeah.
Low-key Envy.
Yeah.
We should explain what best girl is to start with. Best girl is the idea of in a harem or harem-like setting, there is a theoretical, mathematical, optimal choice for the most ideal match. And
for those of you at home that can't see what I'm doing, I'm holding up Rosario Vampire. Looks like Volume 5. As the cover has Mizore on it, if you know who that is. Best girl.
he doesn't know who that is.
I know, but Eric does.
I haven't seen Rosario Vampire.
It's good. It's not. But it's really shitty compared to the manga. Eric can really vouch for that. He feels very passionately on this subject. Anyways, what does not make a best girl?
Please.
Annoying voice.
Yes. Also, the obvious love interest. The one that the show's trying to force down your throat.
Oh, God.
I have some bullet points, things to consider, like when we did the Centaur question. And you're both familiar with that. DJ,
Yeah.
you were here for that.
I was there.
Curtis, you got to hear it after the recording,
yes.
and you had strong opinions as well. But we don't have to visit your thoughts on that right now. So if you want, I can start with running down the list, now that you guys have sort of primed the listener with your thoughts. So my first bullet point on the list of things to consider when we had this discussion of what is the best girl. Number 1, the camera's fully biased opinion.
Yeah, I would say best girl does not get any overt attention.
I don't think that's always true.
Like, only in, like, those situations, because obviously we're talking about a harem type thing, so there's going to be, like, oh, they come out in a towel, and then there's going to be angled close-up shots. I say that's gonna happen, but like normally it's because it's not the one the show wants you to believe is like the going to be the winner of the competition. They're just like kind of in the background.
Are you telling me Gasai is not a best girl in Future Diary?
Was the pink hair girl, right?
Future
Yes.
Diary isn't really a harem.
No, well, it doesn't have to be in a like.
I mean,
like best girl would be out of all of your harem, like it would be the one that you are the closest with, but that doesn't mean that you have to choose a girl from a harem type show.
Right. I mean,
yeah,
but
you're right, because like what was it like Eric and we've been Snapchatting each other about this a lot. We were talking about ReZero and how there's very clearly a best girl in that, and then it's not the love interest.
not only is it not the love interest, but this character is explicitly said is given the Drake meme of "get the fuck out of here" when they're like, "May I present myself as best girl?" And then they're like, "Nah," and then they're like, "But wait a minute," and then the
I'm
character
gonna
still goes,
I'm gonna
"Nah."
reinforce my case as to why I'm the best girl for the rest of the show.
So when I talk about the camera's fully biased opinion, what I mean is to say that the camera will show certain characters in different perspectives because the camera is supposed to be sort of like God's eye view of how the world is to be perceived. So, and again, this is very heady when we're talking about harem comedy, but that's kind of the incongruous nature of this question. So the camera will often show what the show will have you believe is the best girl in a sort of pure shot, like they don't try to make them look like super sexualized, but all the other girls will have the low camera angle shots and all the like joke things with coming out of the shower and stuff.
I don't know, like a Monster Musume, like they try to make Mia like as best girl.
They try to
And,
make
like,
every character as best girl.
Now, to be fair, he knows what you're talking about.
I know,
when you bring this one
I
up.
know, but like, hear me out. Like, yes, they do that to but every character is portrayed sexualized, and I would not say they are all made out to be best girl. I don't think they give Horse Girl a very good case, nor do they give Sue a very good case.
Sue's the water one?
Yeah, like the slime.
Yeah. I think they definitely give Sue a good case. She runs around with that raincoat on, and then her breasts grow with the water. I feel like that's definitely a good case.
What's that, Eric? Oh, this.
I basically did that without looking. Let's not talk about that.
Fucking creep.
But I definitely agree with you that the Centaur girl is definitely the least portrayed by the camera kind of deal.
No, actually, has blonde hair.
These are facts. Boom, right there.
She's the one who's being played for laughs.
We've
Played
got-
for a fool.
Yeah, she's like,
We've
oh,
got-
I'm so straight laced, but oh no, my shirt just exploded open.
Like there's a scene where she's introduced where the main character is like on top of her and they're trying to save the one
Or we're just
the girl's bag that got stolen.
Yeah, it's
and
like
he's,
I gotta
holding
run
her-
down the street.
her
Hold
breast
my
up.
breasts for me.
Yeah, he's like holding her breasts to hold on.
Yeah.
And then like the shirt like rips and stuff. Like I feel like that's
And he has
definitely
to
like.
cover her even more. God, that's
But I
a
hard
really trashy show.
I hard agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it has
She-
heart.
She can't be best girl
Does
because
it?
she has blonde hair,
yeah.
and that's a fact.
I mean, that's you're making strong statements right now. Like, and I don't mean
Okay.
like right. I mean like you're making definitive statements.
Also, I will say most best girls do not have pink hair, because pink hair will be shown to be the love interest 9 times out of 10, and they are not best girl. Specifically, Baka and Test. Best girl is not the pink haired like one that the main character is in love with.
it's Hideyoshi.
Is Rem the one with pink hair?
What?
No,
Is
that's-
Rem-
No.
That's Ram. Ram is the blue-haired one.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I thought. Okay, yeah, Rem is definitely
I
best
like
girl.
that you
Yeah.
know that
I
you
hit-
know the meme
Yeah.
around.
I know. See, I know the name. I haven't seen the show, but I've seen so much about it, and I know that from everything I've heard, I just hear the statement the most is Rem is best girl.
Without a doubt,
So,
definitively yes.
The
Rem
show
is best
will
girl.
scream it at you by a certain point.
Yes.
And like when I say screaming at you, I don't mean that as like figuratively.
Yeah.
Like the show literally takes the camera and goes, "You see this? This is why she's the best girl. This is why you're human garbage, and this is why this is bullshit."
And this is why Rem will continue to be best girl throughout the rest of this show, and you will continue to hate the main character. And which is why I sent Eric a Snapchat at like 10:30 at night, just like saying, "Fuck this main character. I hope he dies. Why does Rem have to be so hurt?"
5 minutes later, oh.
I'm just really caught up of thinking of all the shows I watched and thinking the best girl in all of them and comparing.
The farm.
I guess I'm just gonna say I'm like a meta slave when it comes to best girl. I feel like the main character in a lot of shows are the ones that I would classify as best girl.
Okay, well that's gonna jump cleanly into,
So wait.
bullet point 2.
Okay.
Because you brought that up. This is what I often refer to as the first girl argument, wherein the show will explicitly say or try to imply that whichever girl showed up first is best girl by virtue of planted the flag first.
Fuck that. Absolutely not.
See, no,
Discuss.
I don't think that's accurate.
No,
but I
first
definitely,
first girl is worst girl.
No, I don't think that. I think that the rule of first girl is best girl is wrong, but I don't think that I think that not all first girls are best girls, but best girls can be first girls.
Name one.
I mean, Monster Musume mine's Mia.
You're weird.
Why am I weird?
Mia's not best girl.
You saying you wouldn't fuck a snake?
Yes. I'm saying that I would not fuck a snake.
I bet you didn't think this was gonna get so deep in this way.
Dude, I say Eric knows that I have some fucking thoughts on best girl.
That's one of the conversations that I have when I first started talking about the show. When I first decided that I was gonna watch Monster Musume, my one friend watched it as it came out, and he goes, "Yeah, there was a saying that was going on, and all the comment sections on all the the anime websites that we'd watch, and the funniest one would always be, are you saying you wouldn't fuck a snake?" And I just think that's so funny. And whenever I refer to this show, he goes, "You saying you wouldn't fuck a snake?" And I find myself more than often go, "No, yeah, I probably would. If it looked like her, probably." Moving on.
Recorded for posterity.
There's not many other girls in Future Diary that I can really reference.
Okay,
For those of you at home, Eric, also in this reading material he brought out, he also had the entire series of Scott Pilgrim, and I just
it's
held
more
up.
relevant to this than you'd think.
Yeah, I present Article A, Ramona,
Not first girl.
not first girl. You say?
I mean, Kim is first girl.
No, she's not.
The drummer?
Oh shit, you're right. I opened the page. Kim is first girl. But Ramona is worst girl.
Canonical. Ramona's not great. Envy's worse.
You know what? That actually defeats my argument. Kim is actually best girl in that show, or in that. I stand corrected.
These are theories. They're not laws.
This is a personal law of mine.
So we can jump to stuff like.
But then again, Scott Pilgrim is an anime.
Well, it should be. We could talk about other thoughts, specifically to the first girl argument. We could talk about High School DxD, which everyone here has a certain amount of experience with. Depending on how you look at it, first girl is either the angel from the very beginning or
Ria's.
or Ria Scremery. And
that's the red hair girl, right?
The main one.
Yeah, the
So-
main
demon,
girl.
The main demon one.
Now, in that situation, would you say that if it's Rias, let's say, would you say first girl is best girl in that situation?
No question.
No.
This is the part where DJ makes his case for Asia.
Is that the small,
For
is that the
Asia.
small one?
I feel like DJ's going to talk about it's the blonde one who's from the church.
Yeah.
Blonde can't be best girl. We had this discussion.
I didn't agree with you.
Yes, you did.
I said that the centaur it just so happens to be blonde, and that's why
Quote.
that was a joke.
I have not seen many blonde best girls, but brunette is different.
Yeah,
That's what we said.
I haven't seen many, but they do exist.
No.
Like Winry.
Wrong.
Winry is best girl.
Wrong answer.
Riza Hawkeye, best girl.
It's not that kind of show. That's not that kind of show.
I know, but they're still.
But I think that I would probably agree with the sentiment that in the situation of DxD, first girl is best girl if it's Ria Scremery.
Oh yes, by far.
Because all the other characters are just broken in a way.
The other characters-
personality-wise, they're just.
To be fair, though,
There's
I
a lack of
don't know too
intelligence.
much about them.
There's a lack of intelligence present in certain characters in that series where it's I don't know if you know what this is that we're referring to.
Fair enough. I also it's
I
been a
forget
long
all the
time since I've
names.
watched it, so maybe my opinion might have
There's a
changed.
really short one.
Rias, Kaneko, I think her name is Kaneko, the white-haired one.
Yeah. The one that's like almost like a cat.
Akino is the black-haired one, and
The
there's
one that showers with Rias all the time.
and there's Asia is the blonde one, and then
the one that they say from the church.
I couldn't remember the name of the Valkyrie.
Those
or
ones
the
don't
person
matter.
from the it's like
Tho-
guess what? You showed up too late to get into the tournament.
Yeah, I think like the short white-haired girl. There's an argument, but like
That's real dodgy though. I don't
but exactly.
I-
It plays on one of those cases where it's like almost uncomfortably young-looking kind of deal.
DJ's not here so that I can make a Patenko joke right now, but there's a certain like essence of when the Patenko thing comes up where I'm uncomfortable with this whole idea.
Like the harpy girl.
So
Did you just walk away and come back with Solar?
What's it I hear about Patanko?
He's making a case for the white-haired small girl being like second best girl, and
I don't know who this character is.
she's
From
in
High
the
School
first
DxD.
season.
Is it just it's been like
The lowly
at least
one.
like eight
Yes,
eight
the lowly
the
one.
lowly
Okay,
one,
it's
the
been 8 months since I've seen the show. I don't remember every fucking lowly.
the one in the show.
I don't remember.
DJ, you don't have to remember her. I just described her to you.
Fair enough.
And he's saying that she's second best, and I'm just saying, like, I don't know, man. Sort of the Patenko aspect of it makes it a problem.
Oh no. The Patanko doesn't have anything to do with that. But no, she's not best girl just by virtue of the fact that she's not interesting.
She's by far the most interesting second character out of all of them.
She's got a lot more going on, not in the first season.
Okay.
Is
fair
that-
enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
Now,
yeah.
to be fair, back if in 12 episodes all your character development is I don't like you and I'm quiet, it's kind of hard to argue
like
with the not best girl.
It's
thing,
like a mystery thing to where you're like, there's got to be more.
I guess, yeah.
Which I guess that's my only argument with it.
Have you watched Soul Eater?
I have not.
Damn. Well, here I was gonna say. Well, Eric, I'd pose this to you.
Also not a harem.
I don't care. Who's your best girl
Of those four that you're presenting, or
of these
five?
four? Of these five, yeah.
I'm assuming you're counting Blair, even though I feel like you can't pick Blair for cultural and ethical reasons. I
Just
guess
because she's. Are you saying that just because she's actually a cat?
yes, because she's actually a cat. I guess I'll go with Liz.
Really?
Sure, why not?
I thought you would have been more of a Patty guy.
I mean, no. I'm gonna go with the one with the
can't-
fully functional brain.
Can't remember what her name is. It's like
Tsubaki.
Tsubaki. I knew it was Sue something.
You can tell it's his favorite because you can't remember her name.
Tsubaki.
I just remember that she didn't wear clothes and turned into a deer.
So I've had a conversation like this when I first got into anime, because the first show I watched was Sword Art Online.
Oh.
I mean, it's a
Sword Art Online is a sleeper harem. Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, it's still a harem.
God. I remember my first anime.
I mean,
Tenchi Muyo.
Sailor Moon.
it was like a relatable thing. I was like against it. Like, why would I watch this kind of deal? My friend's like, no, dude, it's about video games. It's like how they like go. I'm like,
If you say so.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I'll humor it, and I watched it, and that's like how I started liking anime was Sword Art.
Well, Sword Art has a strong start, and that's a separate podcast to
You know
dissect.
what I just realized? My
problem with
first
Sword Art.
anime was a harem. Yeah, that's why
I
I
mean,
was scumbag.
same.
That's probably why he's a sex pervert.
I mean, mine was
Probably.
too. I mean,
Yeah, but
technically
I mean-
Sword Art.
Sword's not a harem.
What? Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Okay, now we need to make a distinction because there's a harem in Sword Art, but the main thrust of Sword Art isn't a harem comedy.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's true.
That's the
Wait, so
distinction.
wait,
there.
are you talking about like throughout all of Sword Art, or just how it's Sword Art season 1?
I mean,
Because Sword Art season 1, there's no harem.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Who's the other girls in this
Liz,
harem?
The
There's
blacksmith, the
Liz.
dragon
Okay,
tamer, and the
They're
cousin.
they're not even like in the running for romantic interest.
Yes, they are. Go back and watch.
Bullshit.
Go
They
back
all-
and
they
watch it
literally
again.
all
They're
fall in
literally
love
trying
with
to jump on his
Kaneki.
dick as
Or
soon
no,
as they
that
get out
wrong
of the
show.
game.
I must have blocked this out.
What's his Kirito? What's his
Yeah,
real name?
Kirito.
Yeah, Kirito, you got it.
I mean,
got
what's
it.
his name outside of the game? I always
Who
forget.
cares?
Okay.
Kirito.
He
Yeah,
never
Kirito.
leaves. What does it matter?
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, so
Even outside of the game, they refer to him
so
as
I think,
Kirito.
I think that you guys are sort of in agreement that the first girl argument is bullshit.
Yes.
But-
That-
Just
All of
because
this to
they're the
say.
as an absolute.
so just because they're the first girl doesn't mean they have to be the best girl.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
You agree with the meme of the hot girl walking by, you turn your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, but the best girl can be the first girl. But,
All right,
Okay.
this one is gonna just be a fucking nightmare to try to have this part of the conversation because of you, Curtis. All right, cultural biases in writing female characters, as in specific trope versions of characters like the matron, the pet, the alt, the sister, etc.
So wait. So what's the question?
Just as things to consider when what makes the best girl.
Oh,
Is-
like which archetype?
Does the archetype give someone an edge?
No.
Depends.
Maybe.
See, now you immediately were like, maybe. All right, this is going to be easier because I know how
Definitively not sister.
I know how both of you think. Let's try to use this to eliminate people from the running of best girl.
Sister.
DJ is immediately going to go the sister.
Yeah.
Even though she's not really a sister, she's
Yeah.
his cousin. They were just raised together. That's not better.
It's not better. It's still
No,
icky.
I think just
it's
I
still
think
not
family
best
is
girl.
out. Family is out.
Mi
Family's
familia,
out.
mi familia, no gusto.
No. No me gusta la familia.
Yeah,
Thank you, Curtis.
these things.
So I don't know. I feel like there's a long,
Kazoku Wadame.
there's also
Yes.
like the pet, which I think you can immediately disregard as the character who's probably too young to be part of this. Stable.
Wouldn't Sue from Monster Musume be the pet?
But she's not the best girl either. So I think that argument's
Well,
done.
now I should say that neither of you are far enough into Monster Musume to
I
know
say-
how old Sue is.
I was saying, I think Sue might be my best girl for Monster Musume.
Lolis are ancient. Their spirits surpass any of ours. Okay?
Let me just real quick. Let me just pull this book out and just hand this to Curtis and give you his argument about the things.
Am I just looking at the cover?
Yeah, go ahead. Just
I mean, I've seen.
I don't
similar
need.
things.
I don't.
I'm just
I'm not
saying
gonna
it's
defend
relative.
my point, but I'm just saying like Sue is my best girl in that show, just because I think she's the most fun. But like, what was that? She's the pet character of that show.
kind of, yeah.
No,
Also-
her and the harpy.
Nope.
I don't know. There's
Also,
some really funny
going
jokes
going
about
back
Harvey.
to what was it? First girl, not best girl. Another exception to that. I know neither of you have seen this. The pet girl of Sakura So. It's a harem anime.
Shut up, dude.
First
Don't
girl
even-
is a pet, and she's the best girl.
Remember when I said season 2 would be fucking rad when they make it? Season 2 would be fucking rad.
I might have to start reading.
Is that the
manga.
farm?
No, it's the second kaiju fight.
Oh. All right.
Made some guys.
So wait, what other archetypes we got?
Well, like I said,
Curtis, focus.
there's
Sorry.
there's archetypes like the alt, which would be like the counterculture representative
So
in the universe.
the centaur.
No. More like the Dullahan. The Chunibyo type character. The one who is not following social norms.
Gotta breathe.
Jailbreak from the Emoji Movie. I don't know.
I was saying
No, I think-
every time I hear that word, I just kind of get like hot flashes.
I think the best girl has So is the best girl the one that's best suited for the main character?
no,
or,
it's your best
Or is it
girl.
for that person?
Well, that's a philosophical question because the main
Ooh.
character is designed to be a surrogate for the viewer
Yeah.
most of the time.
okay.
And any difference between the viewer and the main character is the fault of the viewer not being the idealized male according to Japanese society. I know, you weren't thinking we were going to get this.
I was gonna say okay.
Just like,
I never
guess
thought
we're
How long
doing
is this
now.
document?
Say there we going.
I never thought about it that way, and that's truly eye-opening the way they look at that.
Yeah. That's
That's
how,
why they're all.
that's how these
That's
work.
why they're all brown hair and have very dull faces, and they're all pretty much almost the same.
It's so that you can insert yourself into them.
Yeah.
And then you and them can insert yourself into the best girl.
Wink.
I wonder if that crack in my jaw made it up.
I say, or that squish of your eye.
I know it's the jaw would have definitely been louder.
I feel like the alt, like the person who doesn't follow social norms, isn't typically best girl.
No.
These are just examples of. There's other types.
Go on.
I only listed a few. So there's also the matron, and I think the matron is always the bridesmaid, never the bride. You gonna ask me to explain what the matron is?
No, the matron is. I agree, but like I
You
think
need me to
there
explain who the matron is.
No.
Okay, you got it. Okay.
matron is sometimes like a close second for best girl.
It's like when you're watching it and you watch the main character have a love interest in the main person, and then there's the matron, and it kind of gives you that feeling of you want what you can't have, and you want to see the result of that.
Yeah.
So like
I agree.
You're like, what could have happened if this character chose this person instead? So I guess that kind of does affect the desire towards the matron.
Hey, man.
I agree.
Again, this isn't
Well
a
said.
show where we dissect my mind. This is a show where I dissect yours.
We dissect our own.
I'm trying to give a good example.
We get faces of death up in
Look,
this
I'm
bitch.
your peyote Sherpa for this thought experiment.
I mean, I guess
We're gonna find our spirit animal and whether they're Patanko or not.
my example
I
for
hope they aren't.
that would be the Parasite. Would be like, there's the clear main character that like, or the main character's love interest that is clear, like that is meant to be, and then there's the one girl who's
The
like
girl who gets introduced, who's like
part of the gang kind of deal, and you're like, okay, and she like does all this different stuff and like has like the sense and stuff, and you're like, okay, and
that plotline resolves itself.
yeah.
Anyway,
You know what? Wait. did
Spoiler
you-
free.
Were you just say like sports girl?
No.
Oh, what about sports girl?
I mean, I don't have it listed, but I have ETC, so
Yeah. What about sports girl? Sports girl is usually pretty good.
he's just thinking about one of the characters from
But
Bakemonogatari
he's
now.
thinking something specific.
I'm not, but that's also
The sister.
no, not the sister.
Sports girl out. No sports girl.
No, sports girl is pretty good. In a lot of animes.
I mean, sure. I don't have a strong opinion either way.
I'm indifferent because
I'm down for sports
I
girl.
can't reflect on that.
You can't hang with Sport Girl.
I don't think I've watched anything where there's like a sports girl that's an outlier that is like, oh, this is clear, probable love interest maybe.
I'm trying to think of an example in the two you've seen.
What's a trope that you like though?
Yeah, what's a trope that you like, Curtis? Let's really deep dive
I
into
don't
your
know, I
fetish.
really
What's your fetish?
I really like.
DJ's fetish is clumsiness and oranges.
and sports.
I definitely find myself like in the harem ones. It's definitely the main character.
It's whichever one has the pinkest
it's a-
hair
it-
and the snakest legs.
I think it's
Tell me I'm wrong.
it's literally just always first girl, pink hair, and everything. I think.
Yep.
Like it's,
Oh, DJ, just go ahead and hold up book one there.
I mean, I guess it's not pink hair in
Worst girl.
in DXD.
Worst girl in
Def-
RV in RV's
Definitely
Mocha.
bottom two.
Yeah. Oh, what is Yukari your other
Yeah,
worst girl?
I have
Because of the Patanko.
I have a definitive downvote that I usually apply.
Like I guess the best girl in SAO to me is Asuna.
That's your worst girl or
No,
best girl?
best girl.
Best
in
So
SAO.
I would agree with that, but for maybe not for the best first girl reason, but for the fact that up until the show shits the bed, Asuna is a good character.
No, yeah,
Yep.
she's a character.
Agree.
She's compelling, well written, and isn't a fucking
Cliche.
The
a
characters,
cliche in either direction.
the characters that don't just fall for the person, they actually have their own actual like characteristics besides falling for the main character.
And then
are
season
good
2
characters.
is just like, I don't really like you, Baka.
Yeah,
Let's not.
like in
Then who could even be bothered to
like
watch
that's how-
season 3?
like that's how Ria's is too in
I know.
DXD. Like she has like her own like plot line that doesn't really.
Okay, know
Yeah,
what?
she's trying to not get molested. He's trying to molest. It all works out.
Going back to what I just said though, the tsundere.
That's not so much an archetype.
Because usually a show is
That's
based
like a
around
trait
that.
applied to one of the archetypes.
Fine,
And don't get me wrong, I'm 100% on board for the tsundere most
Same.
of the time.
Yeah.
Just because, like, oh, look, this character has more personality than the other ones. Even though it came out of a cookie cutter, at least it's not a circle cookie. At least it's a star shape. Now,
No,
our other friend who we work with isn't here, but he's gone on record saying, he's like, tsundere, fuck that. I'm picking the yandere. And I was just like, that's a dangerous choice, but I admire your spunk.
Who are we referring to?
I say,
Stefan.
know what?
Oh.
Well, he would. He fucking likes school
Shut up.
days. That
Don't-
asshole.
Don't blow up his
Me-
spot. He's
me
not
and-
here to counter.
Me and him, big Yuno Gasai fans. We've talked about it a lot.
Everybody likes Yuno.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, I know.
No.
I can think of one person who doesn't like Yuno. Ironically enough, it's Yuno.
No, Eric, we've discussed this before. 12 is best girl.
12 is
12
best
is
girl.
best girl.
Okay. I think
Well, I'm glad we agree on this.
I've talked with my friends about like going to an anime convention and we all cosplay as different colors of 12, and we just walk around and jump out and scream 12 red.
you're in the wrong room for people to talk you down. You're probably about to find.
I was saying you
go.
found 2 more 12s.
All right. I've got the next one. If you're ready to move on.
Yes.
And I just want to say
Oh.
this hurts me too.
All right. Well, actually, you know what? One last thing. No one actually wants a yandere.
What?
Unle-
Okay, what's yandere again?
That's the crazy one.
The crazy obsessive one that actually gets violent.
You know.
yeah.
You
know.
know is absolutely yandere.
Yeah. Like to the extreme.
And
Yes.
so in Sundari is
Tsundere is just like, I don't really like you, baka.
It's the one who doesn't want to admit that they're
Yeah,
into you.
they're hot and then they're cold, or they're cold.
I
And
feel
they're
like
hot,
I'm more
sorry.
towards yandere than the other one.
You're more about violence than just be like, hey, you're an asshole, and then like
I-
they have like a secret item.
She's not violent if you're into it.
It's true.
I say you like. Nah, I won't even go for that. Go on.
Okay, so again, this hurts me as much as it hurts you once I say this. The memeability of the candidate.
Dude, honestly,
Chica!
I would say if you can meme them, they're usually pretty close to best girl.
It's true. If you can meme
Because
a
they're
girl,
actually interesting then.
marry that girl. So that's actually a knock in favor of your argument for Snack.
Yeah.
Snack?
But
is Snack really memed?
Would you fuck a snake?
Fair enough, that's a meme.
they're in the story memes, like when she dresses up like Solid Snake and hides in a box all the time, like that's a recurring joke that happens.
That's a recurring joke?
It's
I
a
remember
recurring
that.
joke. There are characters who are not memeable, and I think those characters tend to fall by the wayside.
Because they're
It's
not
'cause-
interesting
Yeah,
enough.
they,
That
they,
means.
they have less of a personality and
Yeah.
they're more boring
Well,
characters.
sometimes-
Unless
a meme
they don't do as many
I
fun
mean, I agree.
things.
Sometimes a meme can kill a character and ruin it.
A meme can be a bad thing, and again, you aren't far enough to understand this, but there's a specific character in this show, the Doulahan. I don't know if you've ever seen any of the Doulahan memes from the fandom.
No, I
But
haven't.
there are some memes that have to do with the fact that they have a removable head.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what you could do with a removable head? It's like, oh shit.
I say where the dark side of the internet comes into play.
This isn't necessarily helping your case, but at least there's a meme. Or there's an in-universe meme in Monster Musume involving Poppy, and it's
That's her name.
It's kind of the best thing Poppy has going is that joke. Are you far enough in the show to get to the 3 steps?
Either way, just say it.
Well, there's a joke in the books, and I believe it's in the show, where if she takes more than 3 steps, she forgets what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
So there's an entire storyline where he basically picks her up off the ground so that she doesn't forget what she was talking about.
Yeah.
And that joke comes back a few times where there'll be numbers on the screen when she walks or on the page when she's walking, and then she'll be like, "Where were we?" And like that's a good meme. but
That's pretty funny.
that meme just kind of proves that the character's probably not a good choice.
Yeah. Can't have a relationship with someone that forgets you every 3 steps.
I feel like there's a lot of memes surrounding Ram and Rem.
Yep.
Are there?
Yeah.
I'm still so new to the show, I don't know
I
yet.
am too, but I'm just frequent internet user
I like
number one.
I like the Rem memes where it's like no matter what you did, Rem is on your side.
Yeah. Which, like, it makes like a good case for Rem.
There's not a single case for anyone other than Rem.
Yeah.
No, there isn't.
Like, honestly, the girl that the show is telling you is best girl is the second best girl just because she's not made of human garbage like most of the other characters. And the other character who's not made of human garbage explicitly is like, no hablo inglés. Not
Are you
interested.
talking about the...
I'm talking about Ram. Ram.
Oh, Ram?
Like,
Oh.
Ram is a
I thought you were talking about, the green hair girl. Because she's like, hey, like, what was it, Crucius or something? The other candidate.
Felt?
No, the
one
one
with the
that
sword?
helps fight the big
Oh, okay,
thing.
the one with the sword.
Yeah, the one with the sword.
Nah.
Because she at the end of that fight, she's like, "Hey, if I wasn't me and you weren't you, maybe this thing could have worked." And he's like, Hell, I almost could have swooned for you, or I would almost consider you a close second, but I already have a number 2 in my heart. And then Rem is just in the background. It's like, oh.
The show is cruel.
It's really cruel. He just calls her a number 2 in front of her, and then she just smiles. She's like, it's like,
Well,
I hate him so much.
well, then you can subvert that in Rosario Vampire, where there's a character who's not even number 2, but they're like, "Hey, man, I'd be okay with the everyone wins ending," and we're just like, "You're a fucking psychopath, and also you're 5."
Yukari said that? Ew.
What other meme traits or like what other meme characters are like that?
Well, there's a lot of like, again, you can't stop talking about Future Diary. You know, it's full of memes. And
Yeah.
have you ever seen a meme of any other girl character in that show?
Why? There's not many in the show.
There's the terrorist. There's the one who I'm pretty sure is a
You
is a
mean the
science.
cultist? Or wait.
No, the terrorist. The cultist too, but the terrorist is the first other one that comes to mind
Oh yes.
as an option. There's the cult, the one in the cult. There's the one who I'm pretty sure is just a mannequin or like a mascot costume that's been given life.
Okay.
The one who's not trying to win. The one
Yeah.
who's just like, I wish everyone would stop fighting.
I mean, there's just a dedicated song to, you know,
Yeah.
which
All
that's
right,
pretty
Eric,
meme.
next point.
Yeah, if we're willing to do that, this next one's going to be pretty quick. And this is also the last one on the list, but if there's any other thoughts you want to throw in on after we get through this one very quickly, because I'm sure we're going to get through this one very quickly, feel free. The Imoto must lose / win theory.
I mean, tell
Wait,
that to
what?
like Imo,
It's the sister. I mean, sister.
the little sister.
Okay.
It happens more often than you think.
I mean, that's specifically a show where the little sister wins, and it's gross.
I mean, it could be a lot grosser.
I mean, yeah, at least it ends with like a chaste kiss with them getting married. Yeah, that's great.
Hey, man. I
Like-
come from a world where I've seen Witchblade and Queensblade. That's not so bad. It could be way more graphic for no reason.
Yeah. Speaking of a show that has like the Tsundere's best girl, Kuro Neko in that show, best girl. Actually, yeah, best girl. The girl with the black hair and the cat ears.
What show are you talking?
Or
No
Imo.
idea.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Or Rilo.
Wait.
Yeah.
You're telling me that the show that has 2 choices and one choice isn't the sister?
No, there's a third choice. There's
What,
just
you
not a
talking about the
strong. There's just not. Or actually,
Like it's really hard to do this with not harem
actually in the
animes.
second
that's
season
why-
there's another choice. There's a fourth choice.
That's
It's
why
the
generally
pop
you're
idol.
talking about harem anime with this.
I agree.
There's the pop idol. There's the sister. There's the not sister, and then there's the tall one.
Look, man, we could have talked about other shows. Like, we could have brought up Is This a Zombie or Another Crawling Chaos or Squid Girl. Don't think about it. That last one, don't think about it.
I mean, I just like
It's the younger sister,
I'm just like reflecting
She's
on
still
anime I've watched
old.
in my head.
but like there's 2 sisters. One's older. One's like a year younger.
So
the younger sister's best girl.
I guess what I'm saying is, would anyone like to step up to the microphone and make a case in favor of the sister must win / sister must lose theory?
Relatives, don't fuck them.
Counter argument?
I don't disagree.
You don't sound very committed to that response.
See, now I had a joke answer, but as the only one here with siblings, I felt like it would be a bad idea if I was the one who was like, "Listen, man, love can take many."
Ew. No. Fuck it.
I mean, it's
Why
all,
is
it's
why
all
is that a
fictional.
power? Why is that like a that's a power fantasy, right?
Can I tell you? And I guess this is the first time this is going to be on a recording, that I have done extensive research into the theory behind why this is a thing. And I don't have an answer for you, but I do have theories.
Elaborate.
I'll be right back.
I mean, I could see a theory being like
Commercial break music.
keeping
go ahead.
keeping strong traits inside of your family. Like if you're ignoring.
No. That's not like it ever been an argument for like, oh, we're gonna keep we're both attractive, like strong people, so let's fuck. No, that's never been an argument.
Totally wrong. I've seen shows.
Wait, what?
That has happened before. I've seen it.
Okay, yes, you're right. That has happened, but that's not a good argument.
We can't both be wrong.
I know. Well, your computer went to standby.
I'm not saying that it's a good argument. I'm just saying it is an argument. I can't really give you a good argument because I don't think that it should be a thing.
Eric, why are you getting your notebook out? Why are you getting your notebook out? Why are you getting your notebook out?
Why when I said it, did you think I was like having a laugh with you?
What did you draw? Eric, what did you draw?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's writing, thank God.
That could have been a lot darker.
Yeah.
So,
I honestly feared the worst.
Curtis, don't try to describe this, but I'd like you to just confirm for the fact that I'm going to flip through a list of examples of this Emoto must win arguments and stuff involving these types of situations in mythology and fiction. I got pop culture, anime, movies, American and Eastern. So, like, here's
give me some American Emoto's win.
just the occurrence,
The
not
occurrence,
necessarily the Star Wars,
I can confirm that there are several pages here.
Okay.
the TV show Arrow.
Okay.
We got Game of Thrones. We got Gotham.
Wait, when in Gotham?
When in Gotham?
Unfortunately, I didn't write the specific examples down, but I think it has to do with the girl who had weird blood and the guy who was a hypnotist.
Oh, Mad Hatter and his
By
little
the
sister,
way,
yeah.
I just mind palaced that.
Yeah.
So, again, Hamlet.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you got me there.
You want mythology? I got Japanese, Greek, Egyptian, Norse, and Lovecraft.
I mean, I know that happens a lot in Japanese mythology.
I also have something written down, very important. There's a thing with Set and Horus. Lettuce is involved.
So we don't have a reason, but
Oh, didn't that happen in the Genji Monogatari?
No, these are the lists.
I could be wrong. But I
These
think I'm right.
these are the theories.
Oh, so we do have that.
Arguments. There's been some stuff. I really didn't think we were getting into this today, like this far into this, but
Fuck it, you brought it up.
fuck it, why not? So I got stuff in here, like there's things like the Oedipus effect and the Electra effect. Those are the
Yeah.
male-female counterparts of the same thing. When it's involving parents, it's usually called Yocasti or I forget the name of the dad. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
He got killed. So those are effects, and they think it occurs between ages 3 and 6, something to do with the development.
Yeah.
It has to do with the development of the superego and the problems therein. Now, obviously, the idea of id, ego, and superego have been largely debunked. Mm-hmm. Debunked? Okay. But it's still not useless when explaining these types of things, because it's a concept that you can understand of, like, the idea of, like, expected self versus the actualized image of self versus raw desire. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not an inherently true thing. It's not like the homunculus in your head with the levers. But there's a certain amount of, like, you can use it as a certain amount of, like, explanation for how the system works. Now,
I always forget about that diagram.
there's a counter argument which is called the Westermarck effect. This was studied, I believe, in I think it was in Israel that they studied this, and it was in 1891, and it's collectively called reverse sexual imprinting. And it's the idea that anyone you were raised alongside, you should have non-sexual feelings towards, whether or not they're related. Now, this has been, after the fact, said that this isn't inherently always going to work.
Look at Japan.
Like, you can't prove this, but it is an occurrence that you can track, and it makes it so that people you're raised alongside, you're less likely to view in an inherently sexual manner in a conscious way.
Yeah,
There's
Maybe-
still
yeah.
a Freudian argument.
Yeah, I say there's probably, conscious being the key word.
Now, and they say there's theories that are like, that's an evolved trait. And then there's other people that are detractors. They're detractors to this argument, saying that that's social norms infecting the mind. That's not natural, healthy development.
I say the normal healthy thing is to just view all women as women.
Well, and then there's
Your little sister.
So there's the term exogamy, which is breeding and marriage outside of a given group, usually around like racial or ethnic lines because the variance supposedly produces more viable offspring. Now, there's an interesting in that exogamy has a reduction in the likelihood of matching gene sets containing defective genes, but there's also a thing that people don't talk about that has to do with the flip side of that argument, which is when people talk about inbreeding, they talk about things like the birth defects occurring more often. Now, the problem with that is, again, I really didn't think we were getting into this today, is that the reality of that, as I understand it from the research I did, and I cannot stress enough that I don't sleep, you guys, and some nights this is what I'm doing, and some nights I'm making the art for the thumbnails.
Oh, I know. I'm just leaving here at least learning something.
A wind will blow, and I'll be sent in that direction. So, in terms of incestuous couplings and the viability of offspring, that doesn't make defective genes more common. It just means that you're not getting a variance in the gene, so carriers will always result in the defective gene. So inbreeding will always result in revealing what the defective genes you had were. It's not like you're not going to get a more defective kid, but any defects you had will show up.
That defective gene will show up. Yeah, the recessive or whatever.
Then there's stuff like European ruling class and the inbreeding to preserve power, which kind of goes with what you were saying before, which is like that's an example of how you would keep it in the family to keep the power going. I was in the other room. Sorry, I wasn't. I couldn't. You kind of sounded the same from the other side of that. And then I even have stuff like quotes from like other podcasts, like Dude Soup with James Willems from Funhouse talking about this, and he had a hot take which isn't terrible, and so I'll just read this, and this is sort of not quite a quote. I don't remember if it's exactly right. So in America, society and sexuality and pornography are still taboo in and of themselves, but when that becomes normal, the people maybe find types of videos and tags that are the next step up in escalation, and they're saying that Japan normalizing sexuality in the way that it has, not that they're like open about it in the streets, but that they kind of accept it. That leads to the sliding scale going even further.
Yeah, because it's just like how where we get the harems that have the Emoto character. It's just like, okay, well, obviously, and that's where you get like the Emoto character having being put in really weird situations. And you're like, this is icky. Why is this happening?
That was Dude Soup 104. If I wrote this down correctly. This is pseudo-cited.
I'm glad you did your research.
Hey, man. I wish I could have slept instead, but I found this stuff interesting at the time. And I guess it's still kind of interesting to think about now.
It definitely is.
In like a looking at a train wreck kind of way, more so than a...
This is something I want to research for science.
Well, like...
Kind of way.
Hey, man, there were some moments when I was looking this up when I was like, I don't even know how to Google search this question without getting the police to my house now.
It's like, remember when this was just about the Emotos? Why can't we just go back to the Emotos, man?
Oh, I'm going to stop here now, because the next part, I started writing something down about someone making a quote about pedophilia and stuff. And there's a theory on possible causes, but let's not get into that.
That's not.
All I'm saying is, there is historical precedent and cultural stuff. It's like, there's nothing there, but I don't think anyone who's like listening is like, yeah, best girl for sure. Best girl, live in the same house. Don't even have to get our own place.
I feel like a lot of it results in jealousy from other harem people. It's just the sister is just like jealous of not enough attention.
Oh, I could have grabbed Witchcraft Works and brought that out here too. That happens. It's not like it's not a sexual relationship. It's more of like the older brother is sort of treated like.
Can you even think of like
a positive reinforcement source?
Yeah.
Can you even think of one good Emoto?
They just want the head pats.
No.
Like one good Emoto character.
Like, that depends on your context.
Just like, hey, you know what? This character is actually, I like this character.
Well,
like, I don't like that she wants to fuck her brother, but...
Well, that's what I mean by context.
Yeah.
Do you mean related to the character, related to other people in the harem? Because if it's related to people in the harem, there's some cases in Rosario Vampire, and you could make some arguments for Tula Varu as well. Yeah. But like related to the brother themselves,
if they're related to the main boy, like, is there even like a good Emoto that you can think of?
I mean, I could give you the meme answer. The only good emoto is a dead emoto. At that story. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of one. This one's gonna run really fucking long, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. None like jump out at me.
Because I think they're always like kind of played for laughs, unless when they play it really seriously.
Okay, I'm gonna because
Then it just gets gross.
I haven't watched it in a long time. But what was the exact nature of the relationship in Baka and Test with the siblings?
The older sister was like she was just like
She's just a creep, right?
Yeah, she's just a creep. She's like, oh, my younger brother was so cute when he was she's a Shotokan, because she just has a thing for young boys.
Are we gonna have to, when we upload this, just like Urban Dictionary links to like 100
No,
terms?
definitely.
She has a thing for young boys. And like she just like when she fantasizes about when she was like a teenager and her brother was a baby and she used to bathe her young brother, her baby brother, and she's like, oh, it was just so great back then. And it's just like, no, it wasn't. You're a freak.
You were a single parent, and that wasn't your kid.
Yep.
Sorry, too real.
That's it. That was actually pretty spot on.
Hot takes.
I did for Baka and Test, a really lighthearted anime, except for when it's not.
Ew. It's like that one show, Futurama. It's for kids up until the moment it decides to punch you in your hole. Your heart hole. I don't know why my brain shortened that sentence. I think we've sufficiently over-talked about this specific bullet point.
Who's your best girl?
Did we get any closer to picking a best girl in the universe?
I would say, who's your
Like-
best girl?
like a
Eric?
system for
They
deciding?
either have pink or blue hair. That's all. That's what I'm walking away with.
I'm not going to argue with that statement.
Eric, who is your best girl?
You know my fucking answer to that is Mizore. Yeah, I'm going to say Mizore
From Rosario Vampire.
for Rosario Vampire. Because she'll check your spelling.
Mine's gonna come out of a little nowhere because it wasn't talked about at all.
Go on.
I mean, it's probably gonna be Toka, Tokyo
From-
Ghoul.
Okay.
She's
okay.
she's like quiet, kept to herself, but she's confident, kind of deal.
That's a good best girl.
She's got blue hair.
A girl who's following the social norms of Japan. That's interesting.
Hey, I told sometimes the social norm thing
I'm not-
isn't affected.
I'm absolutely not giving you shit. Mizore is also the quiet character with the blue hair.
Hey,
but-
she picks fights with big dudes when she's out as a ghoul. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, the social norm as a ghoul isn't the same as a human.
I'm just saying, man, you can think of the baby as a clamp to keep them together. Go ahead, DJ. Who's your best girl in the universe?
I think.
And tell me
Just
why
gonna
it's
say Rem.
and tell me why it's not Casca.
Who's Casca?
Berserk.
Because I don't.
Oh yeah, you didn't get far enough to get to the harem element of Berserk.
What?
Yeah, maybe you should watch more Berserk.
Berserk turns into a harem?
I didn't say that. I said the harem element.
Oh, okay.
There is definitely at least 3 girls at one point.
Why do I have a feeling it's gross?
I mean, it might be the least gross thing in Berserk.
Oh, okay. But no, going back to real answer. It's probably and this is a really compelling argument for why she's best girl. I can't remember her name, but it's the red-haired girl from Baka and Test.
The one with the bow, like the
Yeah,
big
the one with the
blonde hair?
bow. The one that's like kind of like the childhood friend.
The one who is the childhood friend who has the sister who's also a childhood friend, but was like a zygote at the beginning of their childhood friendship.
Yes.
Okay,
I think.
Can we get a name?
I can't remember her name off the top of my head because she's definitely not my pick for best girl.
Let me just look it up really quick.
I gave my answer for best girl from that show a while ago, and it was a man.
Yes, it was.
But you have to watch Baka and Test to know why that's funny, because everyone in Baka and Test
Minami.
acts like that guy's a girl. They're like, look, we even got you your own bathroom.
He also has a twin sister that looks
Yeah.
like that is actually a girl, and he's still more attractive than her.
It's a really funny show.
It's a really funny show. But yeah, Minami.
Just take our word for it. I don't think you can watch it anymore. I think they've scrubbed it from the earth.
I still own it. I own the Blue Gaze.
DJ will own it to you. 'To. You. 'To. 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 '
Yes, I do.
Why'd you buy Lock and Key?
I didn't.
Don't lie to me.
I didn't. I'm not lying. I didn't buy it.
All right, that's the 1 hour mark of the recording. I'm sure we can cut some of this out.
Most certainly.
Do we have any closing thoughts about this question and how much you would have rather talked about horse dick?
No, I think I had my fill on the Centaur stuff. I don't think I could have reflected on that anymore. I was very passionate about those thoughts
At the time.
At the time, and it's washed over, and I don't think I could get back into it.
I think this is not the only time we will talk about Best Girls.
This is the only time we're going to talk about Best Girls and
On the podcast.
try our hardest to talk specifically about Best Girls.
And what
Yeah.
makes Best Girls Best Girls? Pink, blue hair. Closing argument.
Shade of red. I'll give you that.
Sometimes first girl, sometimes not. It doesn't have to be.
You know who it's never? The Patenko.
Except mine's a Patenko.
So
Didn't think about that.
DJ's wrong.
No. DJ is just slowly regretting his life choices right now because he's like, oh no.
Doesn't bother me.
That's okay. Doesn't have to bother you. I think that does it for today's question. I mean, I don't really think we even want you in the comments on this one. I mean, tell us who your best girl is and why one or all of us should be in jail, I guess.
That's a good way to put it.
This is us signing off. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.